Welcome to the Annie Jennings PR Real Stories of Success podcast series. Annie Jennings is the creator of the most powerful radio campaign in the country, where you are booked on high-impact shows in top markets, as well as the famous pay-for-placement national TV, print, and online media program, where she offers guaranteed deliverables. My name is Stacey Amaral Kaufman. I'm radio director for Annie Jennings PR and interviewer for Jennings Wire Online Magazine, a special community of bloggers and podcasters that is capturing the heart of America. And today we're sharing another real story of success to give listeners an inside look into what it's like to work with Annie Jennings PR. Joining me is race and labor relations expert Jason Greer. He's founder and president of Greer Consulting, Inc. Jason has become the go-to diversity expert for Washington, D.C.'s WTOP radio and a trusted source in the latest race and labor relations news for media across the country, including the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and Fox News Radio. Highly rated CBS, ABC, and iHeartMedia network stations in top markets such as New York City, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, and Atlanta have all called upon Jason's expertise. And in addition to his work as a national media expert, Jason Greer is also a #1 Amazon best-selling author for his book, People Matter Most. So welcome, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Stacey.
It's our pleasure. Let's talk about the beginning. Might as well start there. And why you decided to work with Annie Jennings PR. What was the clincher for you?
The clincher was I was introduced to Annie Jennings through a mutual friend of ours, a woman by the name of Lori Feldman. Really liked Annie, really liked her energy, and just really wanted an opportunity to really contribute my voice and what I had experienced to the national conversations, because there's always something going on in the news. And met Annie, and then through Annie I met you and I met Jason. You all were great to work with, and it was just easy to do.
Yes, and how was your experience day to day in working with the performance specialists on the radio team?
You know, it was so easy. I had no idea what to do. You know, everyone can be the armchair quarterback, and you can sit back and say, well, if I had a chance to interview, I would do it this way. Or if I had a chance to be on the radio or TV, I would say this. But it was a whole other thing when you're actually being prepared for that. I can still remember the first meeting I had. I think we had like a three-way call between myself, you, and Jason. And we just were really dissecting messages, because initially when we started out, it was around the labor relations angle, if I remember correctly, with the NFL strike and things like that. Mm-hmm. So you all just really, you all made me feel comfortable while also helping me to prepare for what the interviewers might ask, and helping me to identify, you know, if you have this type of personality in terms of the interviewer, this is how you might want to respond, or if you have a different type of show, this is how you might want to show up. I just felt like by the time I did my first interview, I already felt like a pro.
Well, you are a pro, and that's for sure. And we were able to. You're welcome. You were able to really expand yourself and your knowledge. Can you talk a little bit about that? You said, you know, I started with the NFL referee strike, and you're discussing these labor and union issues, and then branching off into, of course, the very polarizing topics in race relations in America, and that has been an issue at the forefront of our country and society and the news media of late.
I think it had to do with the fact, you know, my work takes me into so many different circles, and I deal with so many different employees from different backgrounds, different demographics, all those cases. But I think also with my experience in having been a victim of cross burnings by the Knights of Ku Klux Klan, and when I was 17 years old, and then really creating more of, I guess, a racial identity that was not necessarily as extreme as I've seen in other cases, where it was just, I'm African American, therefore I have to think only along African American, African American party lines. My experiences have allowed me to really see that there's really a shade of gray when we're dealing with race, when we're dealing with any type of diversity. And so, again, working with you all and really honing my message so that I could take that out for these interviews is just really impactful.
Now, Jason, you've been featured on a lot of really big brand name media. We mentioned in the intro Fox News Radio, CBS Radio, ABC, lots of major market coverage. What have you been doing to leverage that big brand name media that we've been able to book for you, whether it's been through your own marketing, the social media, and all of that? What have you done to make that work for you?
That's a wonderful question. One of the things, and actually working with you, was I have close to 9,000 Twitter followers that sometimes I do a great job of engaging, other times I don't do as well of a job of. And when we started doing the round of interviews around the unfortunate Charleston shootings, the Charleston, South Carolina church shootings, just getting out there and letting people know, hey, I'm going to be on this radio station, or I'm going to be doing this interview at this certain time, I actually received, I want to say, about 40 additional Twitter followers. And then all of a sudden through social media, that I didn't even know was out there. And it brought brand awareness for my business. But I'm also getting asked to speak on topics of diversity that I never would have dreamed of before. And that's really because people heard me on the radio, people might have seen me through social media, and now they say, okay, this guy's a player, let's go ahead and bring him in the fold because we really want to hear his voice. And it's also helped in terms of developing my bio. Now when, I have 5 proposals out there for speaking engagements. So between my book being a #1 bestseller, in addition to the fact that I have all of these, major stations that I've done work for, I'm not having nearly as hard a time booking speaking engagements as I had before.
So you're saying that the media exposure, the way that you yourself took action to leverage those big brand names and all of that, that's helped you get a leg up on your competition when you're going for speaking engagements and then also for other business opportunities.
It's, if I had 8 legs, and I say I'm 8 legs up, but I think also it does a lot. It does a lot for your confidence in terms of, generally speaking, I don't care if you're a small or large business owner, you tend to think in your own silo. I know what I do, and I do it well for my clients, and then I move on to the next engagement. And unfortunately, what people don't realize is that you are really your own brand. But part of being your own brand is about making people aware of you, making people aware of what you bring to the table, and more importantly, making people aware of what you've done to get there at the table, to get to the table. So if anything, having these experiences through the major media interviews and really the confidence that you develop when you are able to be part of that national conversation, there's no going back. There's no going back. You just feel like you just want more and you want more and you want more.
We always tell clients that no one can take any of the media that you've done away from you. So you can use that for the long haul, forever,
yes.
Really. And so you can continue to leverage and optimize all of those big brand names for your success. It's just really forever. So it's great that you've done that. Great that you've seen the power of the media. And I guess one last question, Jason. Overall, what was your favorite deliverable that Annie Jennings PR provided during your experience?
Gosh, what was my favorite deliverable? I never would have thought that if you did a Google search for my name and put in Forbes that my name would come up. And, it's one of those things that you work hard for. But I think just within our first round of interviews, I ended up landing an interview with the Small Business Journal. And that's huge. I have a couple. Do you mind if I speak to a couple deliverables?
Sure.
I'd say also the fact that now people are contacting me directly, asking me for, I go back to the Charleston, South Carolina issue. People are calling me directly to hear what I have to say, and they want to know what this means to the country. They want to know when the next, hopefully we don't have another shooting, but the next diverse issue that comes up, what does Jason Greer have to say about it? I mean, Annie Jennings, if anything, they've catapulted me into the national conversation. I could not have asked for more.
Well, Jason, you've been excellent to work with. Thank you for taking some time out to share your experience with us. And I'd like to tell our listeners you can learn all about Jason Greer, his book, People Matter Most, and his consulting and speaking work at his website, which is GreerConsultingInc.com, and that's GREER Consultinginc.com. Thanks again, Jason, for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And this podcast is presented by Annie Jennings of the national publicity firm Annie Jennings PR, the creator of Jennings Wire Online Magazine. For more information on how you too can experience national media success and those guaranteed deliverables, please visit AnnieJenningsPR.com. Till next time.